Hello and welcome to Blythe Ray Business News, where today I'm joined by Tom Abraham James, who is Chief Executive of Pulsar Helium. Pulsar Helium listed on the AIM market in London with a market capitalization of around £35 million. The company is developing its helium assets in Minnesota and in Greenland. As well as being listed in London, the company is also listed in America on the OTC, but I want to start with its third listing in Toronto on the TSXV. Tom, you've just been included on the 2025 TSXV 50 list. Share your thoughts on that first, please, and explain what that means for Pulsar Helium.
Thank you, Tim. Nice to see you. And I must admit, I'm very, very proud of this result. It's a lot of hard work went into it. And so we actually ranked number 20 out of so close to 2,000 companies listed on the TSXV. So, really quite something. And it was also, so it's based on results from the 2024 calendar year, which happened to be our first full year of being listed in Canada. So we did do it via IPO in August 2023. And so with our meeting our objectives and our activities that year to get this award early doors, it's just really fantastic. And so now the team is well motivated to see if we can get higher in the list next year.
Okay, so if 2024 was your first full calendar year of being listed in Toronto, I know you also listed in London last year, just talk us through some of those highlights in 2024, which stand out for you.
It's quite a busy year for us, that's for sure. So we started up as a public company in August of 2023. It was quite quiet in the Canadian markets at that time. And what we really wanted to do and what we told the world was that we're going to come out all guns blazing effectively and execute our work program. And so it started in earnest in January, and we completed drilling our Jetstream #1 well at our Topaz project in Minnesota in February. And that one really was quite spectacular. We met our objectives there. We encountered the high concentration helium, where the helium naturally flowed to surface. We got up to 14.5% helium, which is worth noting that with helium, you never get a pure 100% helium content. You could think of it a bit like gold grade in that sense. But really, the industry is used to sub 1% or single digits. So to get double digits was really fantastic. So considering we're the first mover in Minnesota, we found that high concentration. That was really the big catalyst and to start off the year. Then, as you say, later in the year, we dual listed the company in London, and we raised £5 million there. And before that, with the appreciation that we were seeing in our share price, we were able to exercise all of the warrants that were issued at the time of the Canadian IPO, so to clean up the capital structure of the company, bring in additional capital as well. And really, with each bit of capital we've been bringing in last year, incrementally increasing value for shareholders as well. So look, it's busy, and we laid the foundations for what we've started to do this year as well to maintain that momentum.
All right, I want to ask you a little bit about you've got some escrowed shares in Pulsar Helium. Can you explain for the viewers, please, how they impact the ability of the company's directors to trade their holdings in the company?
Well, it's quite simple. We can't sell. So that one's an easy one. So myself, our chairman, founding directors, and really the founders of the company. So when we listed in Canada, as I say, August 2023, what we did is we signed up an escrow agreement there, which means that we cannot be fully unlocked with our shareholding until the beginning of 2027. And then in addition to that, when we listed in London, we signed up to another mandatory escrow, which is 12 months from listing. So that is from October through to October. So really that one overlaps what we've already signed up to in Canada. But yes, for us, we are certainly motivated long-term holders. And it's also worth mentioning, too, that with any officers of the company or any significant shareholders that own over 3% of the company, if there were any share movements, either buying or selling, they must be disclosed to the market. So what we certainly hope, and why we were very happy to sign up to these, is that myself and my colleagues fully believe in what we're doing and the long-term objectives of realizing topaz and tuna in Greenland, their full potential.
So board and management keeping that skin in the game, which is always good to hear. Now, you've just done a second tranche of private placement. Talk us through that, please.
Yeah, so what we did is we've signed up with an agent, a placing agent in the United States, University Bank. And so we've closed off the first tranche. We raised $2 million US. And really what that is we are going to get a total of 7.5 million. So the placement is currently open for the closing the 5.5 balance. And the objective is that quantum of money is to get the company through to final investment decision for our Topaz project in Minnesota, so we can give comfort to the market that we're not going to be going back continuously to raise additional funds. And on top of that, we're also looking with a major shareholder. They have a significant number of warrants out there as well, which can bring in additional capital. Now, those warrants are locked through to October. But with this university bank to be able to provide a facility so that those can also be exercised and bring in additional funds too, and further tidy up the capital structure of the company. So this placement is only open to US investors, institutional and sophisticated investors. There's been a great appetite. University Bank has been an existing shareholder in the company. They currently hold about 5% of or just under 5% of our issued shares. And they see the long-term potential of what we have. And certainly being a high concentration, US-based helium source, potentially for a commodity which is very strategic, it ticks their boxes for wanting to be involved.
Now, you mentioned there, Tom, progress towards the final investment decision on Topaz. So tell us what's going to be coming up. We've got the Jetstream 1, the Jetstream 2 wells. What's going to be happening? What's the current developments, and what might we think might be coming up in the future, near future?
Yeah, that's all happening. We've got boots on the ground in the field right now. So we just announced that on Monday we have further testing occurring. So these are quite technical logs that we're doing. So an optical televiewer, a litho scanner. And what this is all about is getting the properties of the reservoir itself, the host rock that hosts the gas there. That will give us very important information that will be feeding into a resource update. And then next month in March, we'll be conducting flow tests on both of the wells. These flow tests will be quite substantial. They're going to go up to 2 weeks for each well. And that is quite a long test, so that we can then say, okay, feed that information into to our group that we have an agreement with, which is Chart Industries, who are going off to design a production facility to look at scenario building, what could be the potential there for both helium and CO2 production. So those flow tests will be quite extensive, very detailed. We're going to have very high quality data. And at the same time, we'll then be taking pristine samples of gas during the flow testing to say, okay, what is the composition of the gas that's coming out through the duration of the flow tests. So it'd be quite thick and fast news flow. And then once we have all of that data, we'll then be giving it to our independent resource estimator. So with our existing resource calculation, updating of that. And then, as I say, with Chart Industries, then they'll be looking at economic scenarios, and we can start talking to the public for the first time about, okay, what could production look like? And then after that, really the objective then is to realize the production potential of Topaz as soon as we can.
Before I let you go, thank you for all of that. Before I let you go, though, I think you've also just added another string to your bow in terms of online communication, social media communication. I think I'm right in saying you've just signed up to use Blue Sky. Is this right?
Yes, that's right. So for we've got a number of different media outlets for people that wish to keep an eye on us. So we also have our email blasts. We have a YouTube channel, a website, and Blue Sky is a good addition. So with that, it's quite neat. You can see photos from the field, some insights from behind the scenes, what's everybody up to, and so certainly the team that we have is quite active on that and really wants to get everyone as involved as they can be in what we're up to.
Well, Tom, thanks for joining us today, and we hope to see you back on the show soon. That was Tom Abraham James, Chief Executive of Pulsar Helium, which is developing its helium assets in Minnesota, in the USA, and also in Greenland. That's it for this edition of Blythery Business News. As ever, thanks for watching.